Hi guys, and welcome to Unity tutorial. This very tutorial you guys are looking at is with the aid of the starter asset, which I seriously encourage you guys to have a go at. Let me show you guys how this works, because I've changed most of the scene on the starter asset to fit what I just want it to do for me. Like the old man that you guys are looking at here, he can just walk around and just, you see that guys, and you can see a lady there just walking up and down. Okay, that is me just modifying the starter asset to suit my own needs. Alright, and right at the back I also have some trees that I've created in Unity, and there are some buildings there, and I've also added some skies and so on. Yeah, let's see what the old man is going to do over there. Now, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you guys straight into Unity development environment, and we put one of these together. So let's do that now, guys. Okay guys, I'm starting a new project entirely. I'm going to click on new. I'm doing that just for the sake of new learners out there, so I'm going to call it FPS 25 10 2021, and I'm selecting the 3D and just click on create. Okay guys, our development environment is ready. So first off, I'm going to go straight to Windows right here, click on Windows, and then we select package manager right there. And once the package manager is ready, we then look for starter asset. So in here, first of all, make sure you do have your asset, my asset. If you don't have my asset, then you're going to have to sign into the asset store and create an account for yourself. So I'm going to click on my asset here, because I've already imported the starter asset. So I'm going to scroll right down here, and you see I think I have about 83, so let's click on 83 so that it will take me to where the starter asset is. So scroll right down, and right here I'm going to be selecting the third person. I don't have any need for the first person, but it's kind of like similar. So select the third person. Let's see if there's any update. There's no update, so I'm just going to select that, and right in here, before I click on import, just for your information, is about 69.72 megabytes. So I'm going to now click on import. There we go. And now this dialog box pops up with all the necessary components that you need for your system. I'm going to click on import again. Okay guys, you see here there's just a brief warning here telling me that the project is using the new input system park. So what it's telling me to do is, do you want to enable the back end? Doing so we actually restart your editor. So I'm going to say yes, let it restart the editor while I enable the back end. So I'm going to click on yes. There we go, the system is now restarting my whole project all over. There we go guys, the starter asset has finished installing, but there's one more component that I'm just going to dump on my asset here, and that is the free sky. So free sky assets, let's scroll right down, and there it is right there, skybox series free. In total it's about 259.56 megabytes. So I'm going to just speed up the whole importing of that very pack, and I'll get back to you guys shortly. Okay guys, I have finished downloading the Sky series, and that is it there. The other component that I've also downloaded is the Western Pro pack, and let me show you guys the website where I actually did that. There we go, that is it, devasset.com. Okay, it's a very good website. You can always download it for free, or you can grab it for free, or pay whatever you can afford, which is very good. So at least try to just donate something. All right, that is it. I'm going to close that. Now let's go straight into our starter asset right here. That is the starter asset for third person controller. I'm going to double click on the third person controller. Now inside the third person controller, I'm going to go straight to the scene right here, but you can always explore if you want. If you click on the character, you'll see all sorts, but I just don't want to hang about, so I'm going to go straight back into the third person controller, double click on the scene, and inside the scene we have playground. So I'm going to double click on the playground, and you guys should be able to see the playground. There we go, that is my playground. Okay, with this playground activated, if I click on run right now, let's just play it and you guys will see how the whole scene will look like. And right there, that is how the whole environment looks like. But most of the components that you guys are looking at on this scene, I'm going to get rid of them. But for now, let's just press down the arrow key. There goes the character in there. Okay, you can move it anywhere you want. The choice is yours. Okay, there. So but what I'm going to do with this very one is I'm going to enhance the way it looks like, because that's the whole purpose of these starter assets. It helps you to create a very beautiful scene of your own, and is always very, very fast. Okay, so let's do one thing now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just end this. Let's end that. So the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add my sky. As you can see, the sky is just blue. That's it. So let's put some meaningful looking sky into it. So I'm going to click on Windows. Let's select rendering and select lighting, and there, go straight to the environment. Inside the environment here, you see where we have skybox material. Click on this small icon there, and there we go. We have different sky that I can pick on or click on, different sky asset. I'm going to click on this one. See, it's cloudy morning, so let's double click on the cloudy morning, and there we go. The cloudy morning is now in place. So let's run my program or play the game one more time, and it's coming up now. There we go. That is how the cloudy morning is looking like. Okay, that's not too bad. That's fine. Now the next thing that I want to do is I'm going to go straight inside the environment here. Click on the environment, and here where we have the gray box, drop it down. I want to get rid of some of these boxes over here. Just take a good look at those boxes. Let's go to scene. You see some of these boxes, I want to just get rid of them because I don't need them. I'm going to replace them with the Western Pro pack that I have. So let's come down here, select from 17. You can see that's number 17 in there. You can just, I'm not going to delete it. All I'll just do it, I would only disable it. Okay, just come in here and disable all. See, they are all still there. Okay, it's not advisable. Do not delete it, please. Right, so let's play it and see how the whole environment looks one more time. There we go. Alright, so we have wide and open area there. Okay, I'll leave these ones on, that's fine. Now let's do one thing with the wide and open area. I'm now going to create my own tree, so you can always go straight into game object, 3D, and select tree. There, my tree is there somewhere. Let's look for my tree now. That is my tree. Look at it where it is. I'm going to move it out so that you guys can see. That is the tree. Just push it somewhere there. Alright, so what I will do with the tree is I'm going to add some branches to that very tree. So that is the branch here. You come straight to the inspector and right here, that's the branch. Click on add branch. You can see a branch is added already. Okay, but that is not enough. So you come straight to the properties in the inspector here. You see where we have distribution, where we have frequency. I'm going to change the frequency to about 24. Okay, that's fine. Then the other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it down, scroll right down. You see where we have sick sun. I'm going to change the sick sun to 0.3. There. Now it is seeking the sun. But the problem is, look, there's no leaves, there's nothing. So I'm going to add some other components onto this main project itself. So I'll go back online and I'll just look for trees and the back. Okay, let me do that, then I'll get back to you guys. And there we go. I now have tree leaves and the back of the tree. So now to be able to add those back and the leaves and the tree, I will right click in here, go to create, and let's select material. So that very material, I'm just going to call it leaves. That's the first one. Right click, create another material. The second material, I'm going to call it back. There. Now while the back is selected, I'm just going to grab the image and drop it right there. That takes care of that. Select the leaves, grab and drop it inside the albedo. All I do is just grab the material, drop it straight inside the albedo. Okay, now let's go back to our tree there. Optimize the tree, select it, make sure the tree is selected. Now I'm going to now add leaves. Click on leaves. You see we have some leaves in there, but I want to increase the frequency of that leaves. There we go. I'm going to make it about 30. There. You see the frequency of the leaves is there. As you can see, it just looks like paperwork. Look at it. Okay, so let's change it to a proper tree. So make sure it's selected, scroll right down, come where we have the geometry here. Okay, select the material, click on material, and the material that I want to select now is the tree material that I've created earlier. There we go. And here you need to actually apply that material to your game object. So click on that, and that should officially apply the, as you can see, it's now applying the leaves to the material. That is it, done. So we now have leaves. Look at it, but we can still tell that the tree looks funny. So let's change the back of the tree itself. So while the tree is selected, that is the tree, so I'm going to select the back so that I can get that sorted. So with the back, scroll right down, you see where we have geometry as well. That is the back there. I'm going to change that, or we can just drag this and dump it right there. So that should take care of the back. I'm going to click on apply, and there we go. It's now applying the back to the trees. So now all of the branches of the tree is taken care of, apart from the main tree itself. That is not taken care of yet, and that is the main tree right here, this very one. So I've just selected that. I'm also going to apply the back to that. There we go. So just drop it and drop it in there, and let's see. There, that is it, done. Okay, if you look at the trees now, there, look at that. Okay, so let's run it. You see how that looks like. Okay guys, let's look for our tree. That is our tree right there. It's huge, and that is it. You see the trees, but the problem is the avatar or the mannequin can walk directly through that very tree, as you can see. So let's apply mesh collider to it. So I'm going to stop it and make sure the tree is selected, and I'm going to come right down here and just apply. You see where we have add? I'm going to click on add component. I'm going to apply mesh collider to it. So that should take care of that. The other thing is, you can see the radius of the tree, the whole area the tree is occupying. I'm going to reduce that. I think there's something here that can reduce that for me. That is area spread. So just reduce that. There we go. You can see that is happening there. That is fine. So let me run it one more time. Just click on play, and let's see if the avatar can walk through it, or the armature can walk through it. There we go. So let's get my armature to walk through the tree one more time. There, it cannot do that anymore. Okay. One other thing about this armature is you can also hold on to the shift key, and you see him just jog away and just keep running. Okay, let's get him back there. So that is that. Now the other thing is, before I continue, I want to populate this tree, but before I do that, one thing I want to do is to go straight to the, either you go straight to the game object, or you can always right click on the hierarchy here, and let's select 3D and let's add wind zone there. And with the wind zone, what you guys will see is the wind will actually be blowing the trees. You can edit the wind zone here, but I think 1 is enough. And there, look at the trees. It's like it's a windy day out there. Okay, so let's end that. Now, with our trees in place, I'm going to come in here. You see where we have the tree. Let's right click in here first and create an empty game object. I'm just going to call that empty game object trees, and I will then drag this very tree straight in there. Okay, you can drag in your wind zone as well, that's no big deal. So the tree, I'm going to then right click on it and create a duplicate. There, I have a duplicate in place. You can drag your tree. There we go. Okay, we have another one. Let's create another one. Right click, duplicate, and let's just drag it. Let's see. Yeah, I can just drag it that way. Yeah, and I'm going to select it all. Just bring them in. Alright, now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to copy these same trees, right click, create a duplicate, and just drag it here. Okay, that we do. Now let's run it and see how that's going to look like. I intend to add some buildings to it though, but before I add the buildings, let's go into Mixamo, because I want to change this very character. So that's the important part of this very tutorial. Okay, right here I'm going to go to Mixamo. There we go. That's Mixamo there. I'm going to include the link of Mixamo for you guys as well. So I want this very lady here. So let's grab hold of. But one thing I want to do before I grab hold of it is I want to add this sexy catwalk move. So just click on that, and that should convert it all to catwalk move. Then click on download there, and just click on download. Now I'm going to select, you see the format, I'm going to select collider so that I can get all of the outfit, and I leave the rest setting the way it is. Click on download, and that's it. And that is that all done. Then I will also need another character, so let's click on character, and you can choose any of these, but let's settle for this funny looking old man. So I'm going to change the character to that of the looking old man, and I'll change the animation. It's now walking like a lady. We don't want that, so let's change the animation. I'm just going to make him walk around. Let's look for, you can type in work in here, there. So let's see any of the character that is just walking around. Let's see. Yeah, that's fine. Alright, that's fine. So I'm going to now download that, and the format is going to be Collada. Click on download, and that is that done as well. Okay, I've finished downloading. I'm now going to go straight to my folder. There they are. So click on it and just get it extracted. Click on extract it all. That is for the catwalk lady, and I'm going to repeat the same thing for the man, the old man that is working. That's it right there. Select that and get it extracted as well. There we go, all done. So I'm now going to move those two folders straight into my Unity editor. So this Mixamo, we can close that, and those are the two folders. Okay, just drag them and dump them inside Unity editor here, and that's it. Done. It's coming up, all done. So let's close that. That is the catwalk lady, and that's the man. So for the catwalk lady, I'm going to double click on that, the folder, select the catwalk lady. That is it right there. Okay, but inside there, the other folder is just the texture. So let's go back in there, the catwalk lady, make sure it's selected, and inside the inspector here you will see the following component. Click on rig, and inside the rig we want to change animation type. We want to change that to humanoid. There we go. Now the next thing we want to do is, so that we can grab hold of the animation, let's first of all apply it though. I'm just going to apply that. Right click in here now after you applying it, and let's come into create and select animator controller. So I'm just going to call the animator controller catwalk. That is it, done. Double click on the animator controller we just created, and inside this your humanoid now, click on the arrow, and that is your animation. Drag the animation, just dump it in there, and that is it. You've connected the animation, all done. So you can close this if you want. The choice is yours. You don't need it anymore. Now let's come in here. Okay, inside our game here, I'm going to drag the lady. Let's come to where we can see the whole scene. Yeah, I think maybe here. Is it here or here? I don't know. One of them anyway. I'm just going to drag the lady here. So let's drag the lady so that she can do the work for us. First of all, that's so large, so I'm going to change the size of that image to 0.001. Okay, so that's for the x-axis. The y-axis the same thing, and the z-axis the same thing. So the lady is somewhere here. Let's click on the catwalk. There we go, that's the catwalk lady. Okay, so I want to move her straight in here. I think that might looks a little bit too small. She looks a bit too small, so let's make it 0.01. Yeah, that's fine. It's looking more like it. Yeah, that's fine. So let's run it and see how she's. No, there's one more step. I was meant to add the animation here. It's not gonna, she's not gonna do anything. Let's see, where is she hiding? Oh, she was supposed to be here. Okay, I'm gonna move her here, very close to the character itself. So let's just stop it. I don't want her where she is, but before then, you see the animation, the animator controller, drag it and drop it right inside the controller here. There. Now I want her, this is where I want her. I want her in this very exit here, so let's move her all the way there. Yeah, that's where I want her. Okay, there. Let's push her in. There we go. And that's where the lady is, the catwalk. Okay, there's one more thing that we left out. You see, I'm going to select the catwalk, select the main character here. You remember I changed this to humanoid. Okay, the other thing is animation. Click on animation. We want her to continue the animation. So where we have loop, select that, make sure the loop is selected. Okay, and that should do the trick. Okay, so let's run it and see how she's going to look like anyway. Well, let's see, she's coming up now. Oh, I was meant to click on apply. You must apply. Now let's see. Let's see if she's there. Look at her. Look at how it goes. There we go. She's doing her own catwalk scene over there. Now that is done. So the next thing is, you see this armature. Let's change that. This very guy here. So let's end the whole system here. There. Now to change the armature is actually hidden right in here. It's right in here. So you see the player armature. In there we have the geometry. Inside the geometry, that is the armature that you're looking at. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come into the asset here where we have the working. Okay, that is the working old man. Select the working old man and let's go straight into rig. We want to convert him as well to humanoid. I'm not going to bother changing to loop or anything because I'm going to be using everything about the armature here. So that is done. So you must apply. Don't forget that. I've just clicked on apply. I will now drag the old man, drag him and just dump him somewhere here. And that's the old man there. He seems to be too large, so I'm going to change that to 0.01 and repeat the same thing for the y-axis, 0.01. The z-axis is 0.01 as well. There. So the next thing is, you see the armature. I'm going to uncheck the armature of the scene, drag the working man and just dump him there. That is it. Is actually replaced the armature now. That's all. That's how simple it is. So what is left for us to do is we need to make sure we select the player armature, this very one here. Click on that. Once you select that, you now come in here. You see where we have the avatar. The avatar we have in there is the armature avatar. So let's change it to the working avatar, this very one here. There. And that's it. That's all that I was meant to do to get it working. Okay, the player armature, you change the avatar to the working avatar. So click on run. Let's see how that's going to look like now. Once that is working, that's it. We're halfway there. There we go. Look at him go. Yeah, that is fine. So the old man has just replaced the real avatar. Okay, you can even go ahead and check out the lady. Let's see how the lady is doing. There we go. All right, the old man is doing what it's meant to do. That is fine. You can even go up the stairs. There. Now, I now want to add the assets that I downloaded from Dev Assets. Okay, let's double click on the Western Pro Park right there, and I'm going to click on model, and what I'm looking for is the wooden crate, this very one. Double click on it. All right, there's two different types. One of them is cracked. I think this is the cracked one. You can see the pieces there. This one is not cracked. Okay, I'm going to drag the uncracked one, just dump it right there, and I will then double click on the texture here. Let's change that texture. Just drop the texture on it, or you can drop it right here, and that should change the appearance of that particular box. Look at it, it's changed it right away. Okay, I'm going to repeat the same thing for the cracked one. Just leave that one, let it rest right there. I'm going to add as many as I want because I will end up copying it anyway. Now let's come in here. This is the cracked one. With the cracked one we have some work to do. I'm going to grab the cracked one, just dump it there. Okay, in the case of the cracked one, we have to enter, or we have to change the texture individually. So that is the track wooden crate. So drop it down. Each of them have their own pieces there, look, see. So if I show you 12, 13, okay, it's up there, 13 and 14. So let's go into the texture. I'm going to grab the texture, drop it on 13. You see, you can see the changes there. Now drop it on 14 there. So I'm going to drop it now on the individual. I just did that so that you guys can see it. So I will speed that up and get back to you shortly. Okay, I think we still have one more. That would be 15, I believe. So just drag and drop it in there. There we go. That is it, all done. All right, that is fine. Oh, there's one here. There's one little one there. Let's see, who might that be? I think that, let's double click on it. Yeah, that is 7. Drag it and just dump it in there. There we go. That is it, done. Okay, now that that is done, the next thing I want to do is, or the next thing that we have to do is select it all, every single component on the it up to, I think it's 1 to 20. Just select it all there, and now come right here inside the asset there. Just click on add components. That's coming up, and just click on the component. I need mesh collider there. Alright, I've added mesh collider to it all. I also want to add rigid body, so select it all and come right down here. Oh, before I add the rigid body, you see, since mesh collider is added, you see where we have convex. I'm going to make sure that is checked there. You can see it's showing the each of the boxes. So now let's add rigid body. So I'm just going to type in rigid there, and there I've just added rigid body to the pieces of wooden crates. So you see the mass here. I'm going to change that to 0.5, so that's good enough. Okay, so that is that all done. Now that that is taken care of, I'm now going to drag it. Let's convert it to a prefab, but my prefab, I just want it in here, so I'm going to grab that, drag it and just dump it right here. I'm going to select original prefab, and that is my prefab right there. Now this one on the scene, I don't need it anymore. I'm going to right click and just delete it. Delete, gone. Now this one that is not cracked, make sure it's selected. Come right here where we have the component there. Okay, I'm just going to select script and give that script a name. I'm going to call it, let's just call it crack wood. There we go, and click on create and add. Now my script is ready, so I'm going to select that script and get it opened. Now click on open there. Alright, first of all, I'm going to declare the following variables. So let's select that and just get rid of the comment. I'm going to say public game object, and that very game object, I'm just going to call it breaker box or break box. There we go, there. And the starter method, I'm going to get rid of that and get rid of this as well. So even this one, I'm going to get rid of this, and let's just change this to private void, and I'm going to use on trigger enter. Yeah, that will do it. On trigger enter. I want it to collide. If you collide with others, and let's just enter other here. There we go. My function is now ready. Now let's use an if statement. If order itself happens to be the game object, then we want it to compare, let it compare who the tag belongs to. So let's say the tag in this case happens to be player. I'm going to show you guys where the player tag is. So let's enter curly braces. In that case, I would like it to instantiate, which means it's going to create as many as, okay, just create another box for me. Instantiate, and let's say transform dot position comma transform dot rotation. There we go. And in that case, I would like you to then destroy the game object. So let's come down here and just say destroy the game object. Copy that and just put that inside the parentheses. There, that is it. That's all there is to it. So I'm going to save that, but note this very name here, player. So let's save it and go back to our Unity editor. So let's come in here, minimize this, and it's now compiling, and I'm going to show you guys the player now. Okay, the player itself, you might be shocked that the player happens to be the player, and that is it right there. It happens to be the player amateur. That is the tag I was referring to. If you don't have your own tag, you can always add a tag, but I already have a player tag in there, so that's why I'm not bothered. I'm using the player amateur. That's the tag I refer to on my code right here. Okay, so that is fine. So the next thing we now want to do is, let's select the wooden crack. Okay, now the wooden crack is now asking us this breaker box variable, which box have we meant to replace it with. The box we meant to replace it with is the prefab that I created earlier. Drag that and just dump it there. If you guys can still remember the prefab, that is called wooden crate cracked, and that is it right there. Okay, that is done. And one other thing that we need to do to this wooden crate crack is we're meant to add box collider. So come in here, you see where we have add component, click on that, and let's just enter box in there, box collider. There we go. I've just added a box collider to it, and you see where we have is triggered. I'm going to make sure that is checked there. Okay, so since that is done now, I think we should be able to get the old man shatter the box. So if I click on play, let's see what's going to happen. So it's coming up. There we go. That is the old man now. So I'm going to hold down to the shift key and just get him run towards the box. There we go. Look at that. Okay, he's just shattered the whole box. That is very good. So let's end that. So you can see how simple that is with just these simple lines of codes. So minimize that. Now the next thing I want to do is just to add the boxes everywhere. So just going to right click and create a duplicate, and just maybe move the duplicate around. You have one box there. Create another duplicate. Just paste them all around, and maybe two more. Duplicate and just move it to, yeah, somewhere there. I think that will do. Now the next thing I want to do is I'm going to come back into Windows here. I need some kind of buildings, so let's go into our package manager, and in here let's look for maybe White City. Let's select White City. It's not there anymore, so let's go into building apartment, something like that. There, building apartment. There we go, building apartment. I'm just going to import the building apartment. Click on import and click on import again. Okay, the building apartment is now on my system, so I'm going to close this. So what I'm going to then do is maybe just add the building apartment everywhere. So double click on the building apartment. Let's go straight to the prefab, and that's one building there. Grab this, just dump it in there. Okay, so I'm going to increase the size, maybe make it about 7 by 7 by 7. That's huge. Let's see how that looks like. Seems to, yeah, that's not too bad. Let's run it and see how that's going to look. Before running it, let's just reposition it, kind of. Yeah, I think that might do the trick. Let's see. And I'm also going to just hold on to the, or right click on it and just copy it. Yeah, paste another one here, and let's add one more. Let's grab the blue one here, and I'm going to increase that as well to, let's say we go for 5 by 5 by 5, right? And we're gonna copy this one too. I think that's it, number 10. Right click and create a duplicate, drag it. All right, that's looking good now. Okay, I think I have some buildings around now, so that should do. So I'm going to try and run it and see how that looks like. So click on play. There we go. That is nice. So I'm going to end it. Let's change the game and go for maximum play or maximize play. Now click on play, and there we go, guys. That is beautiful, and that is how you use the starter asset and get it enhanced in Unity. Okay, there's one more thing though. This is easy, so all you just guys need to do is to make sure the buildings, you add something like a box collider or any kind of collider, just to make sure this guy doesn't walk straight into the building. Look at what's going to happen now. Look, he's going to walk straight into the building. You see that? So let's prevent that from happening. So I'm going to stop it now, select all of my buildings, and it's also advisable you kind of like tidy up. You can see the buildings everywhere, the wooden crate everywhere. So in there I'm going to click here and let's create an empty game object. So I'm going to call that building and grab all of this building straight in there. There we go, and I think I have a couple more here. Drag it, drop it in there. Now one more. Right click, create another empty crate and just call that wood. Yeah, that will do. Grab all of the wood in crate, drag them in there. Drag this in there as well, and there's one more there. As for the buildings, I'm now going to select all of the buildings, and I will then add, maybe I'm going to go for mesh collider. You know, that will kind of like just fit the whole buildings there. So they all have mesh collider added on them. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so if I run it now, or if I play the game, the man shouldn't be able to walk straight into the building anymore. There, so let's run into this building in there. Let's see. There we go, look at that. it cannot run straight into the building no more. So let's crack some of those crates, then we can call it the end of this program. Boom, you see that? What about this other one here? There we go. So with that, guys, I'm gonna call it the end of this very beautiful tutorial. I suppose you guys enjoyed, and you all have a nice day now, and bye for now.